Look at that, that's how we doing it. Big Pacific. Wow. This is next level. Hey yo, what's good? What's poppin'? What's happening with you all? It's your boy Gold Phoenix in the flesh, rise from the ashes and be blessed. You already know what it is. Listen up. Right now, I'm chilling in San Diego. I'm in a hotel, obviously, and the reason for it is because I got here under the assumption that I was gonna load and leave this morning, and that just didn't pan out to be the case. Apparently, the load that I'm supposed to pick up isn't going to be ready until tomorrow. So I went to the beach. I thought about vlogging it, and I almost did, and then I was like, you know what, let me just live. So yeah, I ain't gonna really get to see much of that. I did get to look at a Rolls Royce though. That was beautiful. That just, I feel poor, but anyway, that's beside the point. So yeah, I'm chilling in San Diego. I guess I'll be leaving out tomorrow. I was hoping this load would end up being on payroll, but that does not seem to be the case. Is what it is, but anyway. Cartier Declaration Dune Soir is what I'm wearing right now. Anybody who knows me knows this is one of my favorite roses. It's a very poetic one. This is, when I smell this in the air, or even on me, but usually in the air, something about it makes me think about the duality of life. It's one of those things where it's like, you understand that there is no love without hate. You can't know one without understanding the other. You can't, I don't know how else to put it, but like I said, this is like a sonnet in a bottle. And I'm sad to see this one ending, but I got another one at home. I brought this bottle specifically to finish it. With all of that being said, that is not what I wanted to talk about today. I guess these vlogs are gonna, well, not vlogs necessarily, video, whatever the heck you wanna call them, are gonna end up going up a little bit out of order. Because I have one I've been sitting on, I haven't edited yet, and I need to, but I'll get to that when I get to that. If you know me, and the people I rock with, then you guys know who Married to the Miles is. Yeah, listen. If you're not rocking with Married to the Miles, you are doing something wrong with life. It is mandatory that you go follow, go subscribe to them right now, go follow them on Instagram, go, all that. Those are some of my favorite people, like just in this whole trucking arena, and as far as quality of human beings in general. I look up to them in a lot of ways. But they have brought forth a topic that they believe should be discussed. See the pinky? They brought forth a topic they believe needs to be discussed, and I feel like expanding on it from my own personal perspective, because I can only speak from my own experiences, not even just in this industry, but in the world. That didn't make, what did I say the world for? Look guys, I'm drunk, okay? Don't pay me no mind. I have been drinking for hours. That's beside the point. Anyway, that whole thing that they've been focused on as of late is relationships in this arena and how hard they can be. I won't just say trucking, I'll add the entire blue collar sector to it, just because it is what we are. And I'm sure that electricians and, you know, anybody who is putting in long hours doing hard, laborious jobs, I almost said labor, but you know, you get the point. Anyone doing like these labor intensive jobs, long hours away from home, they get home mentally, they're not exactly there, you know, it could put a strain on anybody. Here's my thing, right? I won't say that since I've been trucking, I haven't dealt with anybody. What I will say is I have had my fair share of disappointment in it, right? most of it stems from, I guess you could say, past decisions and things that I did before I was even out here. So, in order to tell you, or in order to get a full understanding of where I'm coming from, you guys need to know me. There are certain things about me that you guys do not know. And the closest people in my life, they know this story. And so I'm willing to openly talk about it now that they have figured it out and I have nothing to hide, right? So check it. Years ago, this is one chick that I used to be involved with. And we were together for years, right? And this is going to change the way that some of you view me, but I'm okay with that. So years ago, I was involved with this girl, right? And, you know, being young, you do dumb shit. Okay. You do dumb shit, you can't take it back. You have to live with the consequences and the repercussions of your actions, right? At least this is what I believe, right? So going through it with this particular female, right? The only reason, you know, and I ain't gonna say the only reason, but one of the main reasons I can really talk about it is, you know, certain lies still circulate because of this individual, and I stand for truth. So here's the thing. When I was young, you know, young dude, they slinging the most ferocious tallywhacker, if you catch my drift. You know, I was putting it around, hey, little big bulldozing type pile driving jackhammer, the most ruthless with it, right? Well, when you do those things, certain things can come out of it. Little humans, might be about this big, cry like hell, smell like shit, right? Basically, moral of the story is I got my ex-girlfriend pregnant, right? And a lot of people, and like I said, this is gonna change the way some of you look at me, because for the past few years, people have had this perception of me where it's like, oh, look at this young guy, he's getting money, he's staying out of trouble, he ain't got no baby mamas running around. All of that is true. But it is not true for the reason, it's not true because I just made smart decisions. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've done a lot of shit I'm not proud of, okay? And this is one of those things, right? So fast forward, I moved to Texas at this time. Moved to Texas, a little bit goes down. My girlfriend at the time, you know, she's changing. I know something is off. I just didn't know exactly what it was at the time. And this chick takes about 4 or 5 pregnancy tests, whatever. All of them come back positive. I didn't have any doubts in my mind that it was mine because, like I said, I was laying down the most ferocious, we won't, something multiple times a day type. I have a very hot, I'm saying too much. You know, and I'm not even gonna say this to like necessarily put her on blast per se. This is just truth, right? When I found out that this is what was going on, I'm not gonna act like it didn't shock me. I'm not gonna act like it didn't scare me at first. Yes, it absolutely did. But when I came to my senses, which took all of about 30 minutes, I recentered myself mentally, and what I said was, it's the very first thing I said. Let's take some air out this seat. The very first thing I said was, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make sure that my child doesn't want for anything. This is what I said. And I meant that with every fiber in my being. What did she say, right? You know, I'm just, you know, I'm starting college, I'm in college, and, you know, I got my friends, and I don't want to have to give up my family, whatever, because one of the things that I had proposed is that, you know, you just come out here to Texas, I have a support system or whatever. I know the support system that I had is 10 times stronger than what she had with her family, as far as resources, money, fucking sense, it don't matter. 10 steps ahead And this reflects in our lives even today. Basically, it turned into an argument of, oh, well, I don't want to go because I don't want to leave my life behind. You're saying this to the same man who just left to start over, right? And start over I did, right? It pains me to talk about because it's one of those things that still irks me. Here it is, I'm stepping up to the plate, doing the things that I'm supposed to do. And then the topic of abortion comes onto the table. I'm not the one who brought it up. I gotta make that very clear. When she had brought it up and said that is the direction that she wanted to do and started throwing this whole, it's my body, my choice bullshit at me, I took a step back because I realized you cannot argue with somebody who is resolute. I made 2 points. Point number 1 is that no matter what you do, you cannot say that I ever back down. Because the real point is, when push came to shove, I did not believe in running away from responsibility that I created for myself. I ain't a bitch. I did that. If I brought them into this world, they did not ask for it. I owe them everything. Number 2, whatever you decide to do, you have to live with. This is what I said. Fast forward some days later, whatever, talking to her friends or whatever. Me and one of my best friends, who actually, I'll talk to her later actually, but we were the only ones in her life who said to keep it. Her mom didn't say to. Her friends didn't, her raggedy ass friends. Nobody was supported. And eventually she ended up listening to them and going through with the abortion. And it messed me up mentally. I dealt with a lot. I had a lot of, I don't want to say trauma, but it haunted me in ways that I won't go too much into detail on here because most people, like, come on. Most people are happy you have certain issues. But I couldn't sleep at night. And I couldn't sleep at night for like a year straight. I still struggle to sometimes. Not over this necessarily, but because, you know, my mind runs at 1,000,000 miles an hour. But back then, oh my God. Oh. Anyway, she goes through with it. Not only does she go through with it, but she tells everybody associated with me, anybody who may know me through word of mouth, all of her friends, everybody, and her friends, this is the part that, how the hell they even believe it? Anybody who would have had anything to do with me, proximity and all, this bitch tells them, he forced me to do it. And I had to live for years with the reputation of being the piece of shit who didn't want his kid, who didn't want the responsibility that he created for himself, and then ran away halfway across the country. This is the shit that people have perceived me as for years. I'm starting to get worked up thinking about it because this was 6 years ago. All this transpired like 6 years ago, and it's only just recently that people are starting to understand that, damn, that motherfucker Tariq was honest the whole time. I ain't never lied. I ain't never backed down from nothing I created, ever. I could have fought. I could have went tit for tat. There's a lot of shit I could have did. There's a lot of things I still could do. Fuck it, this video ain't even gonna be monetized, bro. There's a lot of things I could have done and I didn't do. Because what I told myself, and I'm grateful that I told myself the truth as far as all of this goes, is that what's gonna happen is that years from now, people are gonna take a step back and they're going to see the progress that I've made through life without this bitch. And then they're gonna look at her sink. And sink she did. And when they look at me, and then they look back at this chick, what they're going to understand is something ain't adding up. I never once tried to defend myself over any of this. I never argued. Hey, that's what she told you. That's what you want to believe. You think my character is that lacking? Okay, hey, I'll show and prove instead. And that's exactly what I did. That's just the kind of man I am. There's a lot of things that I do not say in order to keep peace. Like this. After dealing with this woman, you know what I did? I took 2 years on purpose and went celibate. 2 years straight. I ain't sleep with nobody. I ain't grope no voluptuous booty meat. You know, the chesticle. I ain't do none of it for 2 years straight at that point. Now after that, you know, I've been, this woman who's, hey, listen, bro. That's neither here nor there. But at that period of time, I did what I had to do for myself. And I did what I had to do. I don't know why the camera, you know, disrespected me. But I did what I had to do for myself. I did what I had to do to show and prove that I wasn't the piece of shit that I was being portrayed to be. Essentially. So I don't want there to be any misconceptions. I know this whole topic is relationships. There's probably going to be multiple parts to this whole thing. But there's a beginning, there's a middle, and then there's like the right now. So bear with me. I guess I got a couple videos coming out. Like, hey, look, Phoenix is finally posting something. I've been living life. That's it. Okay. But anyway, yeah, that's a little bit of my backstory and some of the, I don't want to say trauma necessarily, but just the nonsense that I've had to live with all this time. So now you guys know a little bit more about me. Now you guys are gonna find out a little bit more about my dating life as a blue collar truck driver, whatever the hell you want to, hey, live. I done been through it. I'll just put it like that. But anyway, that's beside the point. That's it for part 1 on this one. Part 2, we gonna discuss. Well, I guess you'll have to see. Anyway, as I always tell you guys, be happy, stay blessed, do not be afraid to make drastic changes in your life. It might end up being the best decision you ever made. I am the one and only, the legendary Gold Phoenix. And I'm out.